Today, let us speak about the dark. The dark is not gone, and there are many lost dark entities which we will call orphans. We will explain why the dark is not gone entirely, and why some are termed orphans. We all get thoughts we don't like. Sometimes we get thoughts that are terribly mean. And you think, how could I have thought these awful thoughts? I don't know if everyone gets these type of thoughts, but I assumed it was the ego mind trying to take control, as usual. I wondered where my vile thoughts were coming from, because they were so vile and so dark. These darker thoughts started a few months ago, and I thought I would see if there was any negativity within or around my body. I asked God to remove any negative energies and entities from my multi-dimensional self. These thoughts could be called voices, and I could tell the difference as time went on. They felt separate and cunning and deeply sharp. I had never heard such voices coming from my mind. I thought perhaps that these voices and thoughts were from my shadow side. I examined my shadow side and did not find such darkness. I had to assume that the thoughts and voices came from the dark. Now, knowing this, I could deal with it. In the past, I have had much experience with the dark side. God gave a divine dispensation a few years ago to offer all darkness within the earth to rise into lighter realms. I was honored to participate in the great clearing of the dark from within the earth. I spent years participating and talking to the dark ones. I was taught many things from our Lord God. I was taught how to protect myself and yet to understand and communicate with God's dark children. Because of this past experience, I realized the tone of the dark voices. I thought I was finished with the dark, but this was not so. Let us continue this story. In the last week or so, a friend of mine, an awakened human, came to visit, and as we talked, the subject of the terrible voices came up. My friend said the thoughts were so vile and upsetting. She said it was like these thoughts were separate and so awful. As soon as she mentioned the thoughts and voices, I knew it was similar to my own experiences, and I said I would help. I consulted with Spirit for insight and permission to continue. Spirit said there were many going through this experience. I first explained to my friend some facts about dark energies, in case this would happen again, and then proceeded to remove the energies. There were 4 small, low-level dark ones around my friend, and one slightly embedded in the body. I asked for God's help, surrounded myself with God's love, and raised my vibration in doing so. I projected light through my hands, letting Spirit work with me. Interestingly, my hands were not fast enough to engulf them in the light. I asked for assistance, and one gentleman appeared. He was able to locate in several areas at the same time. He began to catch the 4 orphans within a special woven bag. The dark ones were removed. I continued to remove the one dark entity that had embedded itself within the side of the stomach. It was fairly easy to remove this entity. Actually, the whole process took 10 minutes at most. After, my friend felt so much better. The pain in the side was no longer there. As the night went on, my friend felt lighter and more grounded. I hope the balanced health was permanent. Now let us explain what is happening with the dark on earth. Let us start with the orphans that still exist. These are dark ones who used to be attached to the dark ones within the earth. As the inner realms of earth were cleaned, many small, dark energies were cut off from their source. Without the guidance of powerful dark ones, these weaker dark energies lost their foundations, their purpose, and their direction. These orphan darks are not well organized and cannot access the dark strength or knowledge they once had. These orphans have lost their parents, and are called orphans. But these orphans can still cause problems. Let us further explain the dark forces still left upon the earth. There are a few powerful dark ones within the earth. They have festered and are sick, but still very powerful. These dark forces refused to be saved by the light. They also refuse to be moved to another dimension. Pain and suffering will increase as the planet's vibration rises. The dark upon the earth will be destroyed. Any residue will be picked up and destroyed. If there are strange negative thoughts happening to you, take it as a warning. Let us now look at what you can do to help yourself. If there are strange negative thoughts happening to you, take it as a warning. Immediately ask for protection and guidance from God and divine beings of light. Examine these thoughts to see if they are coming from your ego mind or from your shadow self. If they are from either of these sources, clarify why these thoughts are coming to you. Ego mind thoughts can be dealt with using mindfulness, meditation, and other solutions. If it is your shadow side, you should find the cause of these thoughts. This requires going deeper into yourself to find the origins. There are humans who deal with these problems and use many different systems. There are many articles on working with your shadow side. You should look into that. If it is indeed a dark entity or energy, there are ways to solve these problems. Someone who has experience in removing dark should be consulted. Never trust the dark. Don't underestimate the dark. Never work alone. You will need divine help. You may search for various methods to remove the dark or ask for divine intervention to remove them. If you are hearing thoughts and voices that seem so harsh and cruel, I would investigate further. Remember, you are a divine being. Nothing of a dark vibration should enter your world. It does happen, and you should ask for help. It is unacceptable for the dark to be in your world. Ask for help, and it shall come. I am Archangel Martin.